Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, and today we're going to talk about borrowing the faith of others. When my kids were small, they were afraid of going into the basement. Now, they could be afraid of their own rooms and the upstairs if the hallway and rooms were dark. So what would they do? They would send me out for reconnaissance to ensure it was safe. Well, after a careful examination of the area, I could report with confidence that there were no monsters anywhere. For my kids, my testimony was enough for their own faith. You see, they borrowed my faith because it was well placed. We are doing the same thing today with Jesus Christ. Did you know that? It's true. But he said to them, "If I don't see the mark of the nails in his hands, put my finger into the marks of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will never believe." A week later, his disciples were indoors again, and Thomas was with them. Even though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." And then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Don't be faithless, but believe." Thomas responded to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." Jesus performed many other signs in the presence of his disciples that are not written in this book. But these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. What always gets me about this story is what we call it. We call it the story of what? Doubting Thomas. That is Thomas's reputation. He is a doubter. But I'm going to tell you, he was no habitual doubter. He was brash, but not a doubter. Remember, in John 11, it was Thomas who said, "Let's go and die with Jesus." You see, it was Thomas who was so sure of who Jesus was. But like many of us, when faced with an extraordinary problem or trouble, we too can doubt. And so what do we need to do? We need to borrow the faith of others. You see, that's why John wrote this gospel. He said so in verse 31. He said, "These are written so that you may believe." Believe what? That Jesus is the Son of God. Friend, the Bible is not a book of fiction. It's not a book of fantasy. It's a book of history. Yes, it is a book of miraculous history, but it is true from cover to cover. The Bible is a love letter from God to us. It lets us know how to experience a relationship with God through Jesus. You see, that's why we've walked with him for the past 2 months. It's so we can borrow the faith of others. We're borrowing their faith based on eyewitness testimony so that we can believe. You know, it's okay if you doubt. Thomas doubted. Peter doubted. There are Old Testament doubters like Moses. Today, we all doubt. That's why the Bible was written, so that we could borrow the faith of others, so that we could believe. Friend, that's my challenge for you. I want you to borrow and share the faith. Do you doubt? It's okay. I do too. Today, I'll be honest, I am sure in who Jesus is, but I still doubt. but that's why I have to walk with Jesus. That's why I have to go back to the Bible. I need to borrow the faith. But I don't just want to borrow, I need to share it with others. What story do you need to hear today? What story do you need to share today? I encourage you, I challenge you, borrow and share today. These words were written so that you might believe. I believe it. Do you?